Well, folks, if there's one conclusion to be drawn from yesterday, it's that Republicans are in a huge heap of and it's good. It's a good thing. It's a great thing for this country. You may have paid attention to the election yesterday. It was a special election because you may remember a guy by the name of George Santos Katara. He was a showgirl.
Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl.
I won't sing for you, I promise. In any case, George Santos, who finally was forced out of Congress from Republicans, decided they didn't need his vote for Kevin McCarthy anymore and were cynical enough to pretend they cared about the fact that he was wanted internationally for crimes and he was indicted here in the United States and he had ripped off roommates' money and he had lied and stolen money from his donors and, oh my God, the list would go on. He's got like 78 names. Who knows how many crimes he's committed.
A scathing House ethics report. That report concluded there's, quote, substantial evidence that Santos violated federal laws, stole from his campaign, and delivered a, quote, constant series of lies to voters. Santos is accused of using campaign funds to pay for Botox, OnlyFans, leisure travel, a lot of other stuff, too, that do not appear to have any political purpose. The report says the committee uncovered additional, quote, uncharged and unlawful conduct that is being referred to the Justice Department. Now, Santos has already pleaded not guilty to 23 federal charges, including identity theft, credit card fraud, and filing fraudulent campaign finance reports.
In any case, allegedly, of course, we want to convict George without a trial of his peers, although it'd be hard to find people like him. Can they find 12 sociopaths? I'm sure they can. Just go to a local Republican Party meeting. I digress. Yesterday, Tom Suozzi, former congressman, ran for governor of New York, won in a race against Mazi Pilip. It's spelled Pilip. Mazi Pillpusher? Oh, wait, that's Ronnie Jackson, sorry. Mazi Pilip, who, like her mentor Santos, and she helpfully took a picture with him, was a Democrat like 4 months before the election and was pro-choice, and then she changed that. The number of con men and women among this party are amazing. But this one did not get elected. She wasn't able to fool enough people, and Tom Suozzi had name recognition, and the seat where George Santos had won in 2022, a good Democratic year, by 8 points, Tom Suozzi pulled off a win by 8 points. In fact, he won in the Nassau County suburbs, and he won, not just in Queens, and he won big enough for people to start looking at the numbers and say, this isn't just Gen Z and women voting for him, which is they're turning out, that's happening, but Republicans and Republican-leaning independents have gotten to the point where they hate the Republican Party at this point. A number of them pointed out that they had voted for Donald Trump in the past, but he's crazy. A number of them pointed out the fact that they had voted for Republicans for Congress before, but they can't do a thing.
I talked to 2 voters today who voted for Donald Trump in 2016, turned around and voted for the Democrats in this race, voted for Tom Suozzi because they said his message on bipartisanship and the fact that House Republicans have really struggled to pass legislation over the last couple of weeks impacted the way they were looking at this race. And if you're a Democrat running in these swing districts, running in a suburban district, that's the kind of message, that's the kind of playbook that you want to emulate in November.
They make lots of claims about doing stuff. We must fix the border.
I must break you.
And then don't do it, block it, do nothing. But maybe at the time Mike Johnson was busy talking to God about what Moses would do next. In any case, oh, and by the way, of course, not funding our allies in Ukraine, because that's good, helping Vladimir Putin, something else that a lot of people who are turning against the Republican Party, especially those from Eastern Europe who've come to the United States, realizing, oh, right, it's not the Ronald Reagan Party that spoke against the USSR as the evil empire, it's the party that wants to invite Putin into your backyard and have them attack your country and we won't defend you.
President Putin, he just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
So all of that failure, that treason going into one election, and Tom Suozzi changed the electorate by 1/6. Think about that, 1/6 of voters, 16%. And if you think that that was an aberration, we've had all these elections ever since the Dobbs decision and have been 7 points more Democratic, and ever since the attack on democracy, the coup attempt on January 6th, that have been more and more in Democrats' direction. I would tell you to look at a special election in Pennsylvania also, House district. We were down to 100 tied. The seat was going to be determinative. It was a D+16 seat. We absolutely knew we were going to win it. We won it by 35 points. We won it by a 20-point extra margin. If that and the switch of 16% of voters in New York 3 doesn't tell you where the Republicans are right now, I'm not sure what will. They don't seem to be able to change themselves. They're locked into this spiral of cult and hatred and, changing Donald Trump's diapers. And I don't know where they're going as an entity. They're no longer a political party in democracy, we know that. But what we do know is Tom Suozzi went out there and kicked their asses.
I only came here to do two things, man. Kick some ass and drink some beer. It's like we're almost out of beer.
They are in a lot of trouble. They are hugely unpopular, whether it's they're sitting around and fluffing Putin.
I must break you.
There are attacks on women's rights. There are attacks on democracy, and we're now seeing the results, and damn it, I can't wait for November, folks.